Okay, awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I know that some of you guys may still be kind of coming on here slowly as everybody gets settled for the night. But I know that there's some new faces on here for me at least. I've been kind of in and out of the scene here for a while now. And so some of you guys are new to me. So welcome, welcome. And if you don't know me, I'm Amy Klump, and I represent part of the Northwest Indiana armpit of America up here. It's like horrible. Stay where you are. Don't ever move to Indiana. Shannon's like, whoop, whoop. I'm like, whoop, whoop. But we do what we got to do. The weather is a serious issue here right now. We have like had 47 days of rain. I swear. It's like God leading people through the desert, except for it's not dry. It's very, very wet. So yes, Illinois is about the same. You're a co-partner in crime on the weather. So but anyways, tonight I just want to touch on a few things, you guys, that are kind of close to my heart. When Steph asked me to host calls on Tuesdays, originally I was supposed to be interviewing people and doing some product stuff, which I still intend on doing. We had a really awesome one the last time I hosted a call with Sharon Jensen, and she talked to us about Omnitox and all that good stuff. But today I kind of tried to dodge. I tried to kind of get out of it a little bit. And I told Steph, I'm like, I'll totally do the call tonight, but I have to let you know that this face does not do fake very well. I'm very transparent and I wear my heart on my sleeve. So when she asked me to do the call tonight, I'm like, honestly, Steph, I'm like, I don't really have a lot of things to talk about. Except for transparency and kind of what has been going on in my life. And I feel like sometimes it's good to hear what's going on with our fellow people and the fellow women that we're doing life with, because for me, this team is a total gift. You guys are my tribe, you're my people, and who can't you be more real with than the people and the women that are closest to you? So some of you guys right now, I know you're on fire. You're on fire for your business. You're on fire for life. And can I just tell you, thank you for being on fire, because I love to watch you. I love to watch your excitement. I love to watch what you're doing. And I'm super proud of you. And I'm so excited for what God's doing in your business, for what you're doing to help other people. It's completely amazing. But on the flip side, I know that there's some of us who have been kind of going through the trenches. There's a lot of really heavy things going on right now in the team and some personal lives. And what we are on Facebook versus what we are in real life can sometimes get kind of lost in translation, because no one wants to go on Facebook and be like, so this happened to me today. Those are the things that you text your girlfriends about when you're like, can you believe that my husband did blah, blah, blah? Or can you believe that I'm going on, 2 weeks of not losing a pound and working hard and not anything's changing, like those kind of things. But I want to let you guys know that no matter where you're at, there's someone on this team that's with you who's here to support you. But for me, I've kind of been in those trenches the last few months. And so when Steph talked to me about talking tonight, I wanted to talk to you guys transparently, and just tell you guys a little bit about what's on my heart. And that has to do with self-care. Okay. I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret here. And I know that it's probably going to be a little bit of a shocker to some of you guys. But herbs are not a magic pill. Okay. What we have is the most amazing thing in this world. It can make you feel like a new woman. It can make you feel new and refreshed in your relationships. It can be exactly what you want, where you're at. It can help you change your reality. Okay. But it's not magic. And I think that that's been very hard for me to accept. Give you guys a little bit of a background. Some of you guys know this about me because you've been with us as we've journeyed through. Self-care is something that I'm horrible at. I have to really do a lot of self-talk, because when I first got started with Soul, I was a hot mess. I had digestive issues. I had anxiety, like to the point of where I pulled my kids out of school and started homeschooling you guys. I ran a half marathon to try to get those endorphins up and to run away my anxiety. I got involved in Bible studies. I got involved in prayer group, but I was anxious. I was inflamed. I was sick. And I wasn't caring for myself. And so when I started this, I was looking from the farthest thing was a business. And when I started it, I honestly, I had a full plate, right? I was a homeschool mom. I was a working mom. I was taking care of everything in the family. And I'm one of those people that when I start something and when it makes me feel amazing, I'm going to share it with everybody. Okay. Cause I want people to feel good. I'm a server by nature. I care for people. That's what I do. That's what brings me joy, right? Is taking care of other people. And so I felt alive. I wanted to share with other people. I wanted to help them feel good. And I kept saying, yes, 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 I can do that. Absolutely. I can do that. I can do that. I have 5 things to do today and I have like a 20-minute window, but I can fit that hour job into that 20 minutes. I know I can. I can completely do that. And so I kept saying yes, 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 until finally my yes was not my best yes anymore. Okay. Now, for someone who struggles with anxiety, anyways, borderline depression, when I get completely worn out, when you're not giving your best yes, and you're doing that for me, it's been going on for 15 months, almost more than that now. Steph, how long has it been? Like 18 months? I'm coming on my 2-year anniversary here this September. A lot of you guys said to me when you saw me on the calls and stuff, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you homeschool, and I don't know how you run a business, and I don't know how you work 2 days a week. And the truth of the matter is that I didn't do it all well. I was just surviving, you guys. And slowly but surely, you get this high, you get this emotional high, and you get this huge joy in serving. And it's a real thing. You get those herbs pumped into you. And like I always say, you start drinking the Kool-Aid and you get all of these amazing feelings. But then when you're not coupling that, and I'm going to get into a little bit more about self-care, when you're not coupling that with self-care, for me, I started to lose my joy. I started to stress over numbers. I started to feel depleted. I was exhausted all the time. I started to lose my patience. I went from being a mom who was exploding on my kids to a mom who wasn't exploding on my kids, back to a mom that was exploding on my kids again. And I'm like, how am I going to go on Facebook and post about these amazing herbs that are making me not explode on my kids when I'm actually exploding on my kids? Like, how do you do that? And I just got done telling you guys, I'm completely transparent. Like, what you see is what you get. So that started to become an issue for me. And so I started feeling more anxious, and I started pulling back, and I started getting irritated at myself because I was pulling back, and I started feeling guilty because here I am, a person leading a team and helping people. But behind the scenes, I had all this stuff going on, and I started to just start feeling like I wasn't being transparent. And I couldn't cope. And so finally I just broke. I literally broke. I didn't want to talk to people anymore. Getting through my CRM started to get super, super hard for me. I had self-doubts. I started questioning the nature of the beast with anxiety. If you guys have it, or if you know someone who struggles with it, is that it doesn't make any sense. I would go into work and I would have someone ask me about taking out the garbage, something so stupid, you guys. And I'd be like, why did she ask me about taking out the garbage? I mean, does she think that I don't take out the garbage? Does she think that I wouldn't be willing to take out the garbage? Does she think that I'm slacking in my job? I mean, it was like extreme, you guys. Like, I would take self-doubt to a whole new level. I remember Melissa, who's one of my best friends in this whole world. The two of us are like sisters, like for reals. And I remember one of the points was it was terrible. It was actually a pretty awful experience. We had this thing in our church locally. It was called Mom's Night Out. And I thought she was going to the lake that weekend. So I didn't ask her to go to Mom's Night Out because I didn't think she was going to be around. And last minute, I got asked by someone to go to Mom's Night Out. And I really wanted to go to Mom's Night Out, but I just didn't have anyone to go with. And I didn't want to go with just anybody because remember, I told you I didn't want to talk to people. So it had to be someone that I really wanted to go with. Well, I walked in and Melissa was there, and she was there with somebody else. And my heart broke a little bit. And the next Monday, we both walked into work and we were like looking at each other. And I was like, I mean, I was at mom's night out, but you were there too. And we weren't there together. Like, what happened? But when I saw her in that instant sitting at church, my best friend in the whole world, one of the people I feel the safest with in my entire life, I started having self-doubt about that relationship. And did I do something? And did I hurt her in some way? And so, guys, it's a real thing. Like, it sounds super dramatic, but that's daily life with anxiety. And when you couple that with having all those other things going on in life, it's hard. It's a hardship. And so, like, I mean, my marriage started to suffer, my relationship starting to suffer, and then what I had set it out to do, which is help people, in my eyes, that started to suffer, because what do I have left to give to other people if I'm empty, right? I talk about that a lot, which is ironic because I know the things, like I know what not to do, you guys, but I was still not doing them. So I guess what I'm trying to say and what I'm telling you guys coming to you is, I guess, what not to do, what to learn from my mistakes, and know that no matter where you're at in your business, whether you're in the trenches of life, whether it's because of anxiety, whether it's because of loss, whether it's because of a child that has a need that makes your life super complicated and difficult, whether it's a marriage, whatever it is, you are going to go through seasons of life, and that is okay. And I guess what I want to let you guys know is, in this team, you have permission to be transparent, okay? No one is going to judge you because you're taking a time out. No one is going to ever judge you for self-care, because we're not going anywhere, okay? This team is who it is what we are because of the people that are here. And if you can't serve yourself, if you can't learn to self-care, you can't take care of others. You have to take care of you. And I had stopped that completely. To be honest, I don't even know right now. I've stepped back from a lot of things in my life. I've started becoming very intentional, and I've been delving back into my prayer life. And you guys, I don't even know what it means to be still. I sit down and I think of all the things in my head that I should be doing. And my first thing on my list is to learn how to be still again, to enjoy the quiet, to be able to learn how to just be okay with having a timeout. You need to know you have to be still. Like, that's like meditation, prayer, whatever it is, you have to be still. You need to learn how to set boundaries, and then you need to stick to them. Okay. Whatever it is in life. And I'm going to shift this kind of towards the business angle, because this is a business call. So I'm going to kind of try to make it a little bit about that. There is no such thing as a soul emergency. Okay. If you guys just heard me, like, there's no such thing. You can tell people it's okay to be like, hey, I got your health assessment. I would love to go over it with you. I'm out of town for the weekend, spending some time with my family. I'll be back in the office on Tuesday, and I can't wait to go over this with you. Would 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock work better for you? Because those are the slots that I have available in my day. Okay. Your time is valuable. And I wasn't doing that. And sometimes when you run a business, you run, literally, you run. Okay. And that's important. And sometimes you have to run. And I want to tell you guys that it's important to run. Sometimes you need to run, but you also need to know where to find balance and how to know the other part of the equation. Okay. Because we deal with herbs, we deal with adaptogens. They're going to help us find balance naturally. They're going to help our body find homeostasis. I love that, Ashley. That's amazing. And you should do that. She just said that she sat down for the first time and enjoyed herself at her in-laws' house. And I did that over Memorial Day weekend. It was the most liberating thing I've ever done in my life. I had 5 health assessments in my inbox. And I literally told everybody on Thursday, I'm leaving for the weekend and I won't be back until Tuesday or Wednesday. And it was the first time, you guys, in 18 months I had ever done that. Normally I'd be sitting at the lake while everybody else was like outside drinking coffee, or having a beer by the campfire, and I'd be in the house on my computer, you know, and again, that's okay. If you have set boundaries and if you have balance, it's going to look different for everybody. But for me, that wasn't balance in my life. That was me living for my business. It wasn't the opposite way around. And so one thing I want to tell you guys is we share supplements. Okay. Now, if you look at that word, it's exactly what it says it is. It's supplements. What do supplements do? They supplement a healthy lifestyle. Okay. So when I first started and I started feeling good, guess what I was doing? I was supplementing an unhealthy lifestyle, but I was also starting to pick up new habits, and I was picking up self-care, and I was learning how to take better care of myself, and I was setting limits. Well, now I let all of that go. And sometimes I will say, you guys have probably heard me say this, there's not enough adaptable in the world to deal with my 4-year-old. Or, you know, I could like drink a gallon of Renew in the afternoon. Okay. You guys, sometimes you could take a whole bottle of adaptable. If you don't have a balanced life, it's not going to make a difference, because it's just that it's a supplement. Okay. So supplement your healthy life. First, find your healthy life. First, find your healthy boundaries, and then supplement to make it even better. Now, just to add a side note to that, I can't even imagine what my life would be like right now if I did not have Soul. Okay. Because this pit of despair, have you guys ever watched The Princess Bride? That is like the best movie ever. It's like the pit of despair. You know where that is. It's like an awesome place where they have like giant sized rats and they wrestle with each other. That was my favorite movie growing up. My daughter thinks it's the stupidest movie ever. We watched it together and I'm like, Isabel, I'm so excited to watch this movie with you. This is like the best movie. Mom loves this movie. And like halfway through, she's like, so Mom, remember when you told me this was the best movie ever? Well, that was your opinion. I was like, whoa, 10-year-old, like totally served me. It was not her favorite movie. But I can't imagine where I would be like if I didn't have these herbs, because they are supplementing me, but I'm working towards a new goal in my life. I'm working towards caring for myself first. And that's going to look different for everybody. No matter what you love to do, find what you love to do. And today in my dental office, I had this gentleman come in, and he was 68 years old. He was a follower of Christ. He was an amazing man. I know God did not put him in my path by chance this morning when he came into my office. He was the cutest thing ever. He suffered from a stroke like a year ago, but he's 68 years old, and he literally told me his entire schedule for the entire week. On Monday mornings, my wife and I get up and we do 2-mile walk, and we have to finish it in 30 minutes. On Tuesdays, we get up and we do a 2-mile ride around the lake, and we have to have that done in this many minutes. And on Wednesdays, we get out our kayaks and we kayak around the lake, and we have to have that done. Every single day of the week, they got up and they were intentional about self-care, and they take care of themselves, because that's the season of life they're in, and they're thriving together because they're making time for themselves. Like his love for Jesus just spilled out of him because he's making that intentional in his life. God is one of the most important things in my life, but to be honest, guys, in the pit of despair, sometimes it's hard to even pray for yourself. And there's been times that I've had to ask my close girlfriends, I'm having a hard time praying for me. Can you do it, please? Because I can't right now. And that's okay too, because God knows right where you're at. Okay. So I want to step it back a little bit, because I'm talking all about like us and how we serve. But have you guys considered this when we talk about your members? I'm going to kind of full circle it back. I've kind of been a creeper the last 2 months because I haven't been very active because of all the shenanigans I'm explaining right now. I still got stuff going on in the background, but I'm not like boom like I was, right? So in Soul Legacy and stuff, I think there was something the other day, and I'm not calling Shannon out, but I am going to kind of call Shannon out because I saw it. And it's not something she's doing wrong, but she had something with someone who was a member who had said that they've been taking the supplements and they're still completely exhausted and they can't get on track. And, you know, going over the health assessment, she's taken all the right things and she just can't get it together. Have we talked about self-care with our members? because it's that for them too. It's supplements. And I've heard Mignon talk about it, and Sharon talk about it, and Corinne talk about it, and Steph talk about it. You know, when you're talking to people about these amazing herbs we have and how awesome they are and how well they work, you're going to be setting your members up for failure, and you're not going to be doing them a service, you guys, if you don't talk about self-care. Okay. Exactly. You can't pour from an empty cup. And I feel like it's worth noting. I had someone a while ago who came to me with anxiety, and she was a Christian woman just like I am. And I went on a limb and I said, hey, I know that you're struggling with this. I think you're going to do amazing with Adaptable. I think you're going to do amazing with Vital. But have you prayed about it? Because there's components: spiritual, emotional, physical, and then the supplementing part. And are we, as a health care provider or as a soul specialist, thinking about the full picture? I had a member come back to me about 2 weeks ago after being off of Soul for 6 months. I thought I lost her. The anxiety part of me was like, well, what did I do? I probably scared her away. She probably hates me. She probably thought I was posting too much on social media. And maybe I didn't call her enough. In all reality, she was going through her own trench, and I was the farthest thing from her mind. But, you know, anxiety ridden people think that everybody talks about us and thinks about us because we are that egotistical. And she actually said to me that she stepped away from Soul because she felt like everybody else was getting these instant results and she wasn't feeling that way. So she thought that she must be doing something wrong. And so that kind of hit me. As specialists, we have to, yes, things are going to work right away for some people. They are. They could be instantaneous, and those are amazing testimonies, and we should celebrate those. But we also have to recognize that there are people that this is going to be a journey that it's going to take a while for, and self-care. And she had a lot of things going on, very similar to my life. And so just knowing that, you know, I talked to her a little bit about that self-care now and what that looks like, and how, you know, although some people can have amazing results, it may take a little bit longer depending on where she's at or what she's got going on. So I would really just challenge you guys to talk about that with them. You know, when you see they're exhausted, they're frustrated, or their anxiety spiked high, or they're this or that, before we're just like, take 6 Adaptable or add another Vital. Even though the guys at corporate would love if we had people going through 2 boxes of Vital in 1 month, and we would love that kind of. It's not always the answer is putting more supplements on. Sometimes it's stepping back and saying, what are you doing to help yourself? What are you doing to set time aside? Are you stressed out? Do you have something emotional going on? Are you sleeping well? Are you exercising? Let's look at the other things. Because if they're not willing to do any other changes, those herbs may never meet them where they're at if they don't have that component. So adjusting your lifestyle and self-care. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. I have to give a shout out to Kristen Baker. Some of you guys may or may not know Kristen Baker. She is an amazing holistic wellness coach, homeopathic practitioner. And I've been kind of working with Kristen a little bit. She knows where I'm at. She knows soul. She's also a soul specialist. But what was really important to me and for you guys and for your members is that for people like us, for people that are type A, for people that take on and take on and take on, she gave me permission, you guys. She gave me permission. She literally said to me, I am going to help you decide what you can say no to. And I'm going to help you get through that. There was things that I was going to do, and she's like, okay, you're here with me now. Let's do those things together. Because she knew that if I went home, I wasn't going to do those things for myself. Okay. So whether you need my permission or not, you have my permission. Okay. Figure out the things that if you're feeling burdened, if you're feeling laid down, if you're feeling like heavy laden, figure out the things that you can say no to clear out your box full of all those to-do things. Okay. And be empowered by that. Okay. That's not a weakness. That's not something to be ashamed of. It's not something to where if you say no to a happy hour that we're doing, or if you say, no, I can't be on that call, like, you do you. You're not going to get any judgment. You do what you need to do. Okay. So, and be that person for someone. If you see someone struggling, if you see someone needs permission, give them that permission. Okay. So what can you do for self-care? Okay. Just to be honest, you guys, I hit rock bottom. I legitimately didn't even know what to do with myself. I could not form words. When Steph asked me to do this, I was like, I don't even know what to say. My brain is empty. Like, I have no words. I can't even form words. I can't even form a post. Like, I literally want to just like sit in my bed some days and just watch the Ozarks over and over and over again. I don't know what to say. So I started seeing a counselor, you guys, and holy bejesus, it is amazing. Every single person in this world should see a counselor. I don't care if you're the healthiest person on this world. If you can find someone who's non-objective, who has no judgment calls whatsoever, and will just listen to you talk, it is liberating. So find a life coach, find a counselor, find someone. I was at the point where I didn't even want to talk. And Steph and Kristen and Melissa, my husband, my mom, I felt burdensome. I know they probably didn't feel that way, but I did. I didn't even want to talk to them about it because I didn't want to hear about it myself. So I went to talk to someone who got paid to listen to me, and it was wonderful. It was a wonderful relationship. It really worked out well. But what do you enjoy? Do you like to read? Curl up with a book, get lost in a book, find one that you love. And yes, personal development is amazing. And yes, devotions are amazing, but get lost in a good book. Find whatever that looks like for you and have permission to do something that you enjoy with no ulterior motives whatsoever, other than the fact that you enjoy it, and do that. Okay. Because you need to be still in that moment and enjoy it. Yoga. If you love to do that, do it. Working out. I've heard that that's amazing. I don't know about that because that's not my thing. I want it to be, and I'm trying so hard. Miss Steph over here is amazing at it. That's great. Singing. I watch my daughter, Isabel, who's 10, sing from her heart, and it brings me so much joy. I love watching her sing. If you like to sing, turn the radio up really loud in your car. It doesn't have to be something extravagant. No one is going to listen to you if you're off key. Just do it. I found that I get a lot of comfort right now just being with my family. It's been a really hard 2 months for my husband and I. Because I wasn't caring for myself, I was not caring for my relationship with him very well. And we've been together for 21 years and he's the love of my life. But I felt like a stranger to him for a while there. And just being with him this past weekend and spending time with him for his birthday. And it was kind of an interesting week for us because family stuff, I don't know, it's just craziness. We had to bury his dad, who was not really in the picture, but that along brought a lot of emotion. So it's crazy. But the two of us literally came together again this weekend. And I said to him, I feel whole when I'm with you. And I do. I feel whole when I'm with my kids and my family. And for such a long time, I was pushing them to the side because of my to-do list. And I was hurting the people who I was actually trying to serve inadvertently, because that got twisted up somewhere inside of my life. So be intentional about that. Okay. So figure out what makes you you. And do that again. If you don't know what that is, then sit and be still until you figure it out. Okay. Because if your cup is empty, you can't fill others. And I was completely drained, and I'm just starting to fill up again. I'm starting to get my joy back. I'm starting to feel like who I am and who I know God promises me to be. And I guess I'm trying to look through my notes here because I had to write a few things down because, like I said, my brain was empty. Yeah. So the herbs never stopped working, you guys. I stopped working. I allowed myself to become unbalanced. Give your best yes. Keep your cup filled. Know your boundaries. Know that you're worth it. Know that you deserve time too. Okay. Life is full of joy. Life can be the most amazing things when we're not heavy laden. I already told you guys this, and I mean it 100%. You know, it's so easy, like when you're working towards a goal, and this is business related, not personal life related. to get stressed out and to get heavy laden and to feel like, oh, I'm going to miss it, or I'm not going to get this, or those of us who are trying to qualify for Hawaii or whatever. When you accept the fact, it's hard to accept this fact, but when you accept the fact that God has you right where you're meant to be at that given purpose for a reason, and you embrace that and you truly trust that, which is super hard to do, it just starts to make sense. Okay. And he knows what his purpose is and right where you're at. And you probably won't make sense of it until way down the road. I call it the meanwhile. Meanwhile, you're going through all these things and he's working the chess players perfectly and strategically until they fall into place. And so, no matter what season you're in, like I said before, as a team, we're dynamic. When we say we love you guys, we do 100%, 10,000, tenfold. No matter what you're going through, you can be transparent. We're going to be here through all of it. If you take a break and you come back, we're going to still be here waiting for you, like the prodigal son with open arms, waiting for you to come back to us, because everything happens for a reason. And sorry, I'm getting snotty because that happens. There was a great, I've referenced to it a couple times. Steph, is it called Embraced, the devotional, the Lisa TerKeurst? It's my favorite book in the whole world. And there's a few chapters that I've read in devotions that really touched my heart. And there's one quote in there that I was kind of going through the same thing around November, December, Christmas time, because I go through these hills and valleys with this whole anxiety monster. And I had to do a live video in Believe in Soul. And I talked about this very thing. So like I said, I know better. It's like reoccurring. God is teaching me, reoccurring, refiner's fire. One day I will get it. And he will be like, well done, Amy. It took you a while, but you did a great job. But she says, living with the stress of an overwhelmed schedule, he or she will ache with an overwhelmed soul. And that is so, so true, you guys. So if you take nothing from this, I hope you take something from that. Just take that you guys need to work on self-care. If you're there, know that you're not there alone. And I would love to challenge you guys this week. I think we should have like a little self-care little post. When you're doing something fun for yourself or exciting, do something for you and post about it. Okay. Give us some joy, give us some hope, give us some good stuff that you guys are doing or enjoying. That's non-business related. Okay. Something that's amazing. We always celebrate the victories in business, but on a personal level, I want to celebrate those things that you guys are enjoying in life with your people, with your tribe. I want to know what makes you guys you. I see all your amazing posts on your herbs and all the awesome things like words be gone and all that stuff. But I want to know what in your life makes you you and what makes you excited. And I think that's pretty awesome. So I don't know if anybody else has any words of wisdom to add to that tonight, or if any of you guys want to share any victories or any self-care things, but I would love to hear from you if you guys have anything. I think we've got about 15, 20 minutes that we can share.
I just wanted to say that I knew this was going to be amazing. And, Amy is one of my very, very best friends, and Melissa. Melissa was just here. And we're so, so alike. And so it's so great, I think, for our team just to hear all of this stuff, right? I've been obviously honest with what's going on in my life, but one thing that was crazy is that you're saying be still. Like, that's my thing right now too. Like, when Melissa was here, I don't know if she told you that, but like, I do not sit down. Like, that's the anxiety in me. That's the depression right now. That's the, like, I don't know if it's OCD, but it's the constant, like, I just will clean and clean and clean and clean and clean my kitchen. And, I can't even sit down. I haven't watched TV in years, and so it's been a long time coming. And how I am when I'm on fire and when I rally and whatever, but I just haven't even been able to hold it for more than a week at a time. And so, there's pressure in being a leader on a team and, all of that stuff. And so behind the scenes, you guys, Amy and I have been like dying, literally, thank God we have each other. But like you said, the praying, it gets hard to pray for yourself. And I was just really thinking about you today before you sent that message, because I was about to call you and say, remember when you were about to go back on meds? I think I'm going to go on meds. I can't pull out of it. And it's just important for everybody to know all of this. It's so, so very important. And then one of the things, I took a bunch of notes, but a couple of things that I wanted to mention that you did bring up was, trusting in him. Most people on here are believers and whatever, and just trusting in him. And so Amy and I have had some like difficult conversations even in business, or, I can not even be harsh with Amy, but like, I'm like, listen, don't even pull up your back office. Like I have to like reprimand her, you know what I mean? Like, because I'm like, if you're pulling it up and you're looking at numbers, then you're not trusting. And, you guys, I don't look until the end of the month, because I've been in a business before where I did that, where I was like constantly pulling everything up and looking at everybody's stuff. And first of all, I don't want to look at everybody's stuff. I like, if you have a question for me, or if you need help, hey, pretty girl, then I'm of course there to help you and to look and to mastermind and all of that stuff. But I don't look until the last couple of days of the month when I can like help people and move volume around, because on one hand, it's like stressful. We do have the gift of being able to help people with volume, but we only can help people with the volume we produce. So like, just like keep that in mind. But another thing that I love that you said is there is no soul emergency. Like when I was with Beachbody, you guys, I lived by the ding of my phone. Like because there was 400 million thousand other Beachbody coaches, right? Oh my gosh, if I don't get back to somebody right this second, they're just going to message the other person. And then I'm not going to have, and at that time, like it was a big deal to me to like live by that. And that causes more anxiety for people like us that have anxiety. And yeah, I think Becca said it, but it's like for your brain being empty. I can relate to that so much, you guys. I've been so empty inside that even like I do this podcast, and for me it's so hard because I'm like, everybody's like, what? I would never know. Look at everything you have. And I'm like, none of that shit matters. Nothing. That does not. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, Ashley. Like none of that matters. You know what I mean? Like what I have, this is not important. That's not like what's inside. And so it's hard for me to do my podcast. It's hard for me to post. When you say like you don't have the words, if you used to see my posts before when I was with Beachbody or when we first started Soul, I would write these beautiful things. I don't have it. I don't have anything. I can barely pull anything out to say. And it's so we're doing this June mastermind group and everyone's doing great and people are doing lives and stuff. But I'm not doing it because first of all, I can barely say anything without breaking down and losing it right now. But I also like, I don't want to talk about it either, so it's such that like balance of like what you have to do when you have a network marketing business and what you have to do to keep your cup filled. And, for me, I know it's like, I'm back to the point where I feel like I'm going to probably have to start working out like very, very first thing in the morning because I have a really, really, really good day, usually for the most part. And then like when everybody's home, I shake and I can't shake it, so like we all are going through a lot.
But I think you nailed it though when you said too, like, a lot of us are believers, and there was an amazing sermon at the church that I go to not that long ago about how when you get a backpack on his back and he's like, you're carrying this burden, you're carrying this backpack. And it was like this huge word image of all these things, that we put on ourselves, that we heavy, burden ourselves. but that you need to take that off and lean in. You know, when you got the struggle, you need to lean in. He's right there for you to lean in on during the struggle. And the same thing with our team. You guys, I can't tell you how proud I am of watching some of you guys step up and like do your lives. And I've been seeing people go live and find your soul. And so Steph is saying, you know, she doesn't have the words. You guys are our voice. You guys have the voice. As a team, we are each other's voice. And so like I said, it's a perfect example of the fact that we are all going to go through seasons, but as a dynamic team, when one person is in the valley, someone else is up on that mountain, and they are there being the voice for the rest of the team and representing. And it is amazing to be part of that and to watch that, because that's just, it's like that fills my cup a little bit there, you know. So it's just amazing. Had to add that because it's pretty stinking cool.
Love that. Anybody else? Everyone's like, nope. I always like, I always know Amy just soothes me. Like, Amy's one of my literal saviors. And we didn't know each other at all, you guys. Like, we met on this team. And so, you know, God really does place people right where you need them. And one thing I love about the June group that we're running right now is we do have a chat as well, and everyone is stepping up. We were like, hey, why aren't we posting in Find Your Soul anymore? So that's why the people are doing the lives and being our voice. And I think that's what happens is when we as leaders are like, I don't know what else to do, you know, then it's like the speed of the leader, like whatever, but it doesn't have to be that way. Like it is so amazing to see everybody stepping up. And Amy, what I was kind of saying in the group is that I feel a little bit bad just because around Christmas time when I was like, you know, maybe we should all start our own groups, and maybe we should, you know, and like empowering people to have their own groups. But I'm like, but you know what? We worked so hard at creating Find Your Soul for the reason of it being like for the team. And it's hard when you're brand new, if you're just trying to post in a group and you only have 5 people in there, maybe 10 or 12 or even 20. But the gift of Find Your Soul is that there's 3,200 people, and we did that. Me and Amy and Kristen and Amanda Abbott started that group with a Cinemate challenge, you guys. That's really impressive. Like, I'm just gonna say, like, go us. Like, I mean, really though, but that's another God thing. Like, that doesn't just happen. You know what I mean? So anyways, just trying to like get back to that part. And, you know, Amy, I was telling everybody, like, don't feel like you have to keep your own group open. And that's part of leadership. That's hard. It's just like, we want you guys to feel empowered, but we also want to help. And I think it's probably, I do love to be a leader, but I've always said, and Amy scolds me because I'm always like, I'm not the leader. Like, I'm just on the team. And she's like, no, you're the leader, you know? And I'm like, no, I'm not. But that is one of my gifts. And that is one of my purposes, is to empower and to help lead and stuff like that. So, but that's part of the anxiety, right? You start to get in your own head and you're like, oh my God, I'm a terrible leader. I'm not there for the team, and I'm not showing up, and I'm not doing the live and Find Your Soul, and I'm telling them to do lives and I'm not doing the lives. And right. Like it's just that it's just hard.
And we do that with our members too. We second guess ourselves. Just like I said, the girl who fell out and then came back, and it wasn't anything about me. She was going through her own thing, you know, and I loved her through it, and she didn't respond back to me, but it wasn't because she was mad or angry. It was just, it is what it is. And Becca, I love what you said about Moses and holding his hands up during the battle. Absolutely. That is an amazing, amazing word picture there with that story. That was a very powerful image. So yeah, that's awesome.
Yes. Thank you for being our arm holders.
I don't know. I've been looking at your arms during this call and I'm like, she's got some guns going on in that. Look at that. You notice
What happens when I get back to the gym?
It's all that cleaning you're doing. It's all that wiping
Oh,
down
no,
the granite.
for real. Like Melissa was like, what in the world? And then we sat down the last night she was here and I was like, you know, this is what I used to do. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it's just rough, man. Life is rough.
No one said it was going to be easy, right? We just.
That is right.
But good thing we have an awesome tribe, though. That's the biggest thing. I just love that. But I am going to post. I'll think of something. I'll find the words to post. And so Legacy for us to start posting some of our fun self-care. And please do post on that. It would be amazing. Yeah, August.
So you know what else is crazy is I have posts scheduled out in our June group, and guess what tomorrow's post is?
Self-care? Shut your face. That's craziness. See, we did not have that planned at all.
No. We were like, she was like, have you talked to so-and-so? What about them? And she's like, I'm not up for doing this call, but I just know Amy's heart, and she's always full of the spirit, even when she thinks she's not. And even in the beginning of the call, when you're like, oh, I was falling apart, and but you weren't. You were for yourself, but you weren't falling short for your family or anything else. You're awesome. So
I got to quick share this with you guys again. Do you guys have Family Dollar by you?
Yeah.
Okay. So they have these amazing little like books, you guys. It's leather bound and it's got like all these pages where I like keep my notes and stuff. But there's one that I got. It's blue. I don't know where I put it. But this one says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not harm you, plans to give you hope in the future." Jeremiah 29 verse 11. These are the most amazing books. Run out and grab you some because they're amazing reminders for you, and they're also great gifts. Just FYI. I was looking at it while I had my notes in here, and I was like, I gotta tell them about that because I shop at the dollar store all the time. But
heck yeah,
for sure.
Love it. Awesome.
All right.
Yes, we can do a July group. You know what we should just really do, you guys, is it just should be in Legacy. At first I was like, well, I really want to be there for people that are like really engaged. But it's everyone that's on these calls are always the ones that are engaged. And so, maybe if we do decide that in July, we'll just post in Amy, of course, post in Soul Legacy now. Kind of like if we're trying to amp up Find Your Soul again, like if we just start to be really engaged in Soul Legacy, we might draw people back in again,
For sure.
Yay. I love you. Thank you so much.
Love you guys too. Thanks for letting me talk.
Have a good night, guys.
Night, guys. Mwah.